Eva Ushiramiya exists as someone who, more than anything, wants to live on Rokenjima. Unlike Natsuhi, who came there against her will and then found herself unable to leave, Eva has spent her whole life attempting to prove that she does belong on Rokenjima, that she would love to be deemed worth trapping there. Hi, I'm Zurenthal, Witch of Textual Analysis. If you haven't watched my Part 1 video on Natsuhi and her family unit, you should watch that first. For my fellow residents of the theater, endlessly ripping out the guts of the Rokenjima incident. Keep in mind that this video contains spoilers for all 8 episodes of Umineko. Eva Ushiramiya didn't marry her husband because she loved him, even though, and this is vividly clear, she does love him. But she didn't marry him because she loved him. She married him because she wanted to be an Ushiramiya, because she wanted to stay an Ushiramiya. It's actually quite a fantastic amount of confidence to get married because you think you will have a son, even though you have just as little control over that outcome as Natsuhi. But Eva does have an advantage over Natsuhi. That is, that she's a witch. What she works for, she shall receive, is the magic that she believes in, with the same fervor with which Kinzo acts out his demonic roulette. There is no one more desperate to believe in a meritocracy than her. She is the most qualified sibling, the smartest, the hardest working. She has the best spouse, which is because she has the best judgment. She has the best son because she paid for him to go to the best schools and the best private lessons. So, of all the siblings, she's the one most inclined to believe that the witch's epitaph is a message from Kinzo and that it is meant to be solved. Eva is the puzzle solver of the siblings. It stands to reason that by creating a puzzle, Kinzo is in all but name admitting that she should have been heir. And he's just doing it this way because he doesn't like admitting that he was wrong. Right? You know, during the first episode, the narration claims that Eva and Hideyoshi carefully used the chain on the inside of the door to keep themselves safe. This can then be gotten around by saying that the servants then used the bolt cutters to open the door and then killed Eva and Hideyoshi once the room stopped being a locked room. But this is still more complicated than it has to be. What if the door was never locked to begin with? Eva was confident enough that she and the servants were on the same side that she didn't even lock the door, and when Cannon used the bolt cutters, he was simply set dressing for Beatrice's side. What if, when he knocked, Eva opened the door for him, and Cannon simply walked in? There isn't any proof that the chain was ever used. These are the kind of assumptions you have to understand in order to understand Eva Ushiramiya. You have to be like Angie. You have to ask, could I have misunderstood everything from the start? But that's the one question Eva can never, ever ask. Let's talk about George. George doesn't really get his greatest moment of truthfulness until very late into Umineko, not until the trial of love begins. Or rather, every episode is a trial of love, but each episode is getting blunter about it. Such is the Ouroboros that hopelessly devours itself. George is part of the episode 4, Trials, where he's asked to answer Kinzo's riddle. Everyone that you don't choose dies. Who will you choose to save? 1. Yourself. 2. Your lover. 3. Everyone else. There are no compromises. There are no takebacks. George's answer, myself, is an attempt to find a loophole. If I become the head of the Ushiromiya family, then I can have everything, even the things that I should have had to choose between, he says. He is, on all levels, incorrect. The riddle is deadly easy because it is the riddle that Kenzo himself experienced. Do you value power more than your lover? And Kenzo's answer was yes, absolutely. I will kill everyone on this island to keep the gold for myself. And just like Kenzo with Beatrice, choosing the headship over Shannon means that, ultimately, that shows what George's love looks like. In the end, he is dating furniture. He's unable to see her. But let me take a break from metaphor for just 1 second. In order to become head, he must understand who Beatrice is. Once he understands who Beatrice is, once he is no longer ignorant of the sins of his blood, then he would be a terrible person if he decided to marry her. The only way to be both head and married to Shannon is if he truly gave up on all morals. If he became exactly as awful as Kenzo. But that's fine, isn't it? Becoming the head of the Ushiromiya family is already a sin. What's one more terrible thing? Their gold is blood money. Beatrice's magic is Nazi gold. To be a good person, he would have to reject it all. Reject his own ambition. Reject his own desire. But that's not the son Eva raised. He brings this up with Eva during episode 6. All of his good traits are things he learned from Shannon, striving to be the person he thought she wanted. Everything she's proud of about him are things he got from others, and everything she hates about him are the things he got from her. He tells Eva he's willing to give up the Ushiromiya name in order to marry Shannon. That's different from what he said in episode 4, isn't it? There is a difference in stakes. When talking to Eva, he isn't in the running to become heir. He's ready to do what he was planning to do anyway. Become a businessman, move away from his family, get married, and move on. There is no gold involved, just a difference in how much financial support he can expect from Eva and Hideyoshi's own company. He's sacrificing his relationship with his mother, but he's not sacrificing power. Not in his eyes, at least. George's position among the cousins is to represent the adult perspective, but what George considers to be adult is a specifically fascinating group of actions. It is adult to fight over money. It is adult to leave a crying child with their furious and abusive parents. It is adult to give orders and expect to be obeyed. To hide your true emotions. To take out your insecurity of your cousin Battler, not directly, but indirectly. To bring up his fear of transportation. To showcase his childish nature. Through these depictions, we can see Ava's shadow. And through Ava's shadow, Kenzo. Ava's time growing up in the Ushiromiya household was one where her goals and actions were fundamentally at odds. The goal, earn her father's respect. The action, act as if she were a second son. The problem, it's a patriarchy. I will say it was kind of grim watching this and being like, this is just like Succession 2018 to 2023. Almost like the same power structures that ruined Ava's life managed to also ruin Shiv's life in exactly the same way, as if nothing at all had changed between the 1980s and today. But Ava has to try, right? Let's allow ourselves to imagine, as Ava has allowed herself to imagine, that if she were his son, he would pass over Kraus and choose her as the successor instead. This is not true. Let's go back to what George defines as being an adult. An adult gives orders and expects to be obeyed. Ava, and this is the prospective son, Ava, who doesn't exist, would be defying the hierarchy by daring to compete against his older brother. Kenzo doesn't want someone with new ideas, new investment strategies, or offerings to improve the family. Kenzo doesn't even want any of his children to solve the epitaph. That will isn't meant for Ava. Kenzo doesn't think she can solve it. The fact that she does know enough about him, his thoughts, his life, that she has the skills necessary to solve it, that's not the miracle Kenzo wanted. Ava Beatrice is not who Kenzo wants to meet. There is only one woman in the world who Kenzo loved, and it's not his daughter, though calling that love is also simply fantasy. Ava spells everything out for Battler in episode 1, solving the mystery in front of his eyes only for him to attempt to spin the chessboard away from it, calling her solution too obvious. Battler does this again with his ability to prove that Kenzo could have still been in the room, even though Ava claims that Natsuhi killed him and hid the body. What Battler is actually asking Ava is, what use are your skills? Why is it useful to perceive the world so harshly? Which is an interesting question, one asked of everyone who attempts to treat Umineko as a mystery instead of as a fantasy. Why is it useful to choose cruel reality in some cases? Why does Ava focus on mystery over fantasy? For her, the fantasy is also cruel. We get to see both beautiful sides of this in episode 3, where Ava takes center stage as both the victim and the witch. Fantasy and mystery align for the first part of the episode, as Ava and her younger self both focus their energy on solving the witch's epitaph for the same reason. Beatrice's power comes from possession of the gold. By gaining the gold, they gain the power to become head of the Shiromiya family. But there is already a deviation in desires between the human and the witch. Eva Ushiromiya identifies herself as a wife and mother. She dislikes that she can't let go of her childhood dreams because she has new things she wants. She wants her son to have a good marriage. She wants her husband's company to get out of its shaky position and regain its strength. Wait a second. Aren't those dreams not her dreams at all? Oh no. Okay, let's go back and look at her old dream. She wants to be the Ushiromiya heir. But this is another interesting question. Does she want to be the heir because she thinks that it is what will get Kenzo's respect? Or does she want his respect through being the heir? Either way, Kenzo is dead now, so getting his respect is impossible. All she can get is the proof that he should have respected her. That maybe if he'd lived, he was going to respect her. I've been going on and on about respect, leaving out the most important part of being Kenzo's inheritor, the gold. Respect is something that Ava wants. Money is what Ava needs. Actually, let's pause for a second, even here. I love questioning my own assumptions. Does she need the money? Hideyoshi's company is experiencing stakeholder drama that they need more money to come out on top of, but Hideyoshi doesn't strike me as the type of person who mortgaged the house. Ava is not facing a life of poverty, of losing her home. She's not even dropping a single tax bracket. What she's losing by not having Kenzo's gold is the ability to say that she's better than Kraus because her husband's company is more successful than he is. So Ava solves the riddle. She follows the Sweetfish River all the way to the church that Kenzo built, and then to the underground military bunker that he keeps the gold in, Beatrice's room. With this, all of her problems are solved. What problems can she not solve with gold? And she doesn't even need all of it. She could divide it up between the siblings and still have more than she could ever spend. The first problem that she cannot solve with gold is fear. The gold exists within a beautiful Schrodinger's box where she both owns the gold, as in she knows where it is and has the bank account password, and doesn't own the gold, where she can't say she fully controls the gold while it is still on the island, and where anyone else who knows of it could also have the same claim as her. The gold is, physically, heavy. It's difficult to transport, and it weighs on her mind. What is she going to do with all that gold? Beatrice is the Golden Witch because the gold enables the murders. What someone could not accomplish alone becomes so achievable when you have the weight of loyal servants, robbable siblings. The alchemical transmutation Beatrice performs is nothing less than the transformation of gold into lead bullets. The Eva that Angie knows is someone who has lost her son, lost her husband, and survived her entire extended family's dramatic demise completely unharmed. So, did Eva deliberately set off the blast to hide the evidence of everything that had happened on Rokenjima, or did she, at the last moment, believe that Beatrice had lied to her about which flip of the switch meant the bomb was on and which one was off? So she thought it wouldn't explode, but ended up fleeing anyway, and it turns out that she was wrong. This is unlikely, but it's not impossible. Eva's inability to trust Beatrice is, after all, evidence that she is human. You can only trust the red text. No. But wait a second. Eva is not human. She's a witch. So naturally, she set the explosion on purpose. She has used her magic to trap everyone on Rokenjima. I think if George had been a girl, he'd be a witch. And not only would he be a witch, he'd be a witch with at least one younger sibling, because Eva wouldn't have stopped until she had a boy. If he had been a girl, he would be like Maria, cursed to have every year of his life marked on the calendar as a year of Eva's failure. That's the kind of life he could have had. So it's lucky she got a boy first try, and then she ended up with a daughter after all. Here's the thing. From all available evidence, Eva appeared to get along well with Jessica and Angie. She's the type of person who notices when Jessica's trying to look more adult or when she's got a new haircut. She doted on Angie, thought she was cute and sweet. Even Battler liked his auntie Ava. Outside of her struggles over the inheritance, Ava was reasonably good with kids. It's such a shame that the struggles over inheritance became her entire life. The same lessons that she taught George, she taught Angie. And because she was miserable, the mirror that Angie reflects back on her is even worse than the one that George held up. What is an adult? What does it mean to be the Ushiromiya heir? The inheritor is someone who keeps all the money for themselves. The inheritor is someone who lashes out at everyone who is within reach. The inheritor is someone who lives every day with the hateful truth. The inheritor is a witch named Beatrice, whose wounds are forever open and bleeding, and who can see no way out but death. There was surely a point where Ava thought it was worth living. Kuwadorian is far from the church. She had to leave the area where the rest of her family would be trapped for all eternity. Someone still has to take care of Angie, after all. How can she give up and abandon a girl who has done nothing wrong except live? But instead of being able to cling to hope, even Ava's hope couldn't become part of mystery nor fantasy. As a witch, she is bitter, hateful, and resentful. As a human, she's grief-stricken, paranoid, and sick. If only she could go back to Rokkenjima. Why is she even alive? Ah, that's right. She's alive because she's a witch. By clinging to the fact that she survived because she's a witch, Ava clings more and more to the gold that had set her on this cursed path, keeping it closer to her than anyone. And she refuses to tell Angie anything. It's both a way of torturing her and a way of being kind to her. But if Ava had really wished to be kind to her, she would have never let Angie inherit all of the gold and take on the name Angie Beatrice. Without the gold, no one would be after Angie in the first place. So we return to the island. Ava has been unable to simply disobey the call of the gold. She's made her new plans. Rosa has to die because she knows too much. Or rather, Rosa has to die because Ava hates her. Stupid Rosa. How dare she make demands? Who does she think she is? She doesn't even have a husband. Hideyoshi dies in the mansion. It's not even a locked room. His killers are right beside him. No, wait. His killer is his own wife, and she's gotten him caught in the crossfire. George dies in the mansion. He'd gone looking for Shannon. He decided that he'd believe in anything, that he just wanted to see her one more time. It's not a locked room either. The window is already broken open, so anyone can enter or leave. What did Battler say again? You know, when you think that someone is dead, and then it's revealed that they're alive, it might look a lot like resurrection. I think Carrie was the one who shot George. She hates people who are rewarded for their love the most. I wonder sometimes if, after Kenzo had killed everyone else on the island except for Beatrice, he had a moment of regret. But I don't think he did. After all, he sentenced her to a much worse death in the end. We don't actually know if Shannon was wearing George's ring in episode 1. George never sees her, so he's asking Hideyoshi. And Hideyoshi says yes. Then he says to Ava, what does it matter now because she's dead, even though he knows she's alive? What did he mean by that? What does it matter now? George can marry anyone he wants. We're rich beyond measure. What does it matter now? George will never see her again. What does it matter if I lie? George deserves some comfort. But this, too, is the wrong angle. Let's fix it. To me, Hideyoshi's most personally revealing moment in the entire series is the point just before Ava Beatrice kills him in episode 3. You're not a witch, you're my wife. Your only magic is conjuring snacks in the kitchen. Witches. In context, he's trying to talk her out of murdering her own family, which is really giving him a lot of moral high ground to work with. But it's the repetition of the same dichotomy that Ava has in her own head, that she has two paths available to her, wife and mother, or witch. And the version of her that's a witch is such a miserable and hateful person, whereas the person Hideyoshi knows, the one that he married, is sweet and nice and gentle. The problem is that there is no place in the world for Ava to be both human and unhappy. Or rather, she thought there was. Ava had thought that if she became the Ushiromiya heir, she could stay a wife and mother while also having the power of a witch. But that's her cursed mistake. The same mistake she made trying to show Kenzo she would be a better son. In many ways, it's the same mistake George made when he picked himself in Kenzo's riddle. Having the Ushiromiya gold doesn't mean you can have everything. It means the gold is the only thing you will ever have. Having power over everyone will result in only one miracle. The gold will transform your love into chains. Thanks for watching!